my channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Tita sa Pageantry, and for this episode, we will be talking about something grand. So please make sure you stick around. Please subscribe to the channel as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant fix. Guys, I am super excited to bring this episode to you. I have been gathering data for the past week so that I could present this one for you. It's just that I waited up until Sam arrived safely in Bangkok before I started discussing this. Because the reason why I'm doing this episode for you right now is because I want to give out an appreciation post for Samantha, the team, as well as her camp and Binibining Pilipinas, who, have pulled resources, who, made such an effort to make this seamless for Samantha. Because given that she had one of the shortest prep time to prepare for an international pageant, I think they're doing really, really well. In fact, a lot of people are comparing her prep to that of Catriona Gray, but maybe at a smaller scale, because as we all know, times are really different now. But the thing is, you can just imagine how Samantha would have done had she been given a longer period of time to prep and maybe more resources to do that, because as early as now, I think they're doing really, really well. In fact, even the international pageant admins and the international pageant fans are recognizing how strong Samantha is, and not just because she has the Philippine flag, but because Samantha is a pro. She is a professional. She is someone that you can just, send out wearing maybe a sack or a canvas and she would still stand out, because Samantha is skilled, she is very technical, she knows how to move, and what's amazing about Samantha is that she is perfect for MGI with a touch of class. But yes, more on that later on. So one of the reasons why we think this is going to go different for Samantha is because I feel like she has none of the baggage from the two previous years that we did not place. So Samantha is approaching this with a clean slate. Samantha is approaching this fight at Miss Grand International without any animosity, without even thinking of things that were said or done between us, pageant fans, and the Miss Grand International organization. As we all know, and we have to recognize this, we have had a volatile relationship with each other, and whatever differences that we've had, it has been so public, so well documented, that a lot of the Filipino pageant fans and even some of the neighbors, the not so well-meaning neighbors, would continue to rehash and say that, yeah, you don't have any backbone because you used to hate MGI and now you're being very supportive. That's not necessarily the case, guys. Wag tayong nalilito. The thing is that whatever support that, we've been hearing, whatever it is that we're giving Samantha, this has something to do with really giving all our best so that Samantha could push with her MGI campaign without any problems. So we're trying to make this one easy for Samantha, because not only does Samantha deserve this, Samantha has been working for this for the longest time, and I think that she is in a really good place and that she's really enthusiastic in that she is capable of actually bringing that gold crown to us. So one of the indicators as to why the atmosphere is a little lighter this time is because everyone just came together for Samantha. Not just the pageant fans, not just her camp, not just her styling team, but everyone. And when I mean everyone, that's the Binibining Pilipinas organization, and it has also something to do with the coming together of the support of the Binibining Pilipinas queens as well as the MGI queens. So let's take a look at her team first. Let's give them a little bit of a shout out, because I feel that Samantha would not enjoy the success that she is enjoying very early on in the competition without these key team members. Of course, you have Sir Rogel of Kagandahan Flores. He has been very supportive of Sam since day one. In fact, during the Binibining Sendoff, Sam did mention that one of the reasons she kept on joining Binibining Pilipinas was that Sir Roger kept on asking her, and she couldn't say no to Sir Roger. So another key member of the team is Sir Wilbert Tolentino. Now, I know Sir Wilbert. I have worked for him a couple of times. I know he's very generous, and he's very involved. He is one of the major sponsors of Samantha, and it is because of him that they were able to put together her wardrobe, that they were able to take care of the cost for Samantha's prep work, because guys, it's not just magic and creativity. You actually need money for the prep work. Of course, Samantha has trusted stylists. You can see the same people credited in most of her photos and most of her photo shoots. So we have JR Constantino and Darwin Sinel for her hair and makeup. So if you saw how glorious that hair was during her arrival and departure, or departure and arrival, then most definitely she had training with JR and Darwin. So we have Yaya Pantaleon. We all know that Yaya will be doing her finals gown. We also have Adam de Guzman and Patrick Isorena, her gown designer, as well as her accessories and jewelry designer, and her knot designer. So these are the creatives who will really bring together all of Samantha's vision. So I think Samantha is really very lucky to have these people around. And of course, we cannot forget Kenneth and his styling partner, Carl Dioso, because we will be hearing from Kenneth later on, because I interviewed him a little bit, but I'm gonna give you more of that later on. But it is also because of Kenneth and Carl that Samantha is confident in how she is, going for a certain direction at Miss Grand International. So this is a group of people. These are creatives who have a vision for Samantha, who Samantha trusts. That's why, she's going to Miss Grand International in a frantic manner, but, really smooth sailing, as I said. Now, Samantha was given a virtual send-off by Binibining Pilipinas, and I thought that was really, really sweet. Because of the current situation, we could not proceed with a send-off that, we're accustomed to. But this time, they did something different. They went with the times. They used technology, something that's really admirable with Binibining Pilipinas, knowing that they're always so old school. But it was so nice, it was so dignified that they arranged this one for her. So what they did was that they invited some members of the media, and what was really pretty was that they invited the Binibining Pilipinas 2019 queen. So we saw Gazini there, we saw Emma, and what was really memorable was that we saw Aya give her support to Samantha. And this is something that was really heartwarming, knowing the history between the two, knowing that the representation of Miss Grand International was actually between the two of them. So to see Aya, fully supporting Samantha this time, I feel is, just giving Samantha more power to do her best at Miss Grand International. So going back, I feel that Binibining Pilipinas did their best to make sure that Samantha is treated as the queen she is. So even the set was really dignified, even the way she looked was really dignified. It wasn't as crazy, it wasn't as frou-frou, but I think they were able to cover everything, and even the pageant media and the bloggers asked Samantha burning questions, and in between, Samantha would give snippets, and these are the ones that I lifted because that send-off was really very interesting. There were so many anecdotes that we really didn't know about, like about her getting that phone call, Sir Hines announcing that she was chosen. So what's really nice about this is that Samantha seemed prepared even before the announcement. I mean, this is a thinking candidate. She understood her position. She understood what might be needed of her. So even if she was shocked, she knew that she had to work very, very early on. And these were some of the things that I feel should be shared to you guys, just in case you didn't get to watch the send-off. So what I liked about this is that it showed Samantha as someone in control. Every time she would say something, every time she would answer a question, she seemed really composed. There was really nothing, flying off left and right. I mean, admittedly, she isn't as perfect grammatically as maybe the halfies that we keep on sending to these international pageants, but what I like about Samantha is the way she delivers her statements with gravitas, and I think it has something to do, of course, with experience, and it has something to do with lessons learned. So she did have a very interesting thing to say about Uncle Nawat, because Nawat was here in 2018. In fact, we have a photo with him. It was just a really quirky photo. Tita B and I said, let's take a photo with Nawat because, this will really tickle or piss off our followers. So yeah, we had a photo with him, but he apparently was there to watch Binibining Pilipinas, and they had a little bit of an encounter together. So she was asked of what thought about her, second bid at Miss Grand International, and she said, I am excited to meet him again, hopefully with a better version of me, because she was approached by Nawat when she won that second runner-up finish, and she made a really good impression. I think she was also encouraged by Nawat to try again. So going to Miss Grand International, I feel like she has a really good footing because they kind of know each other, and I like the idea that Samantha would like to show Nawat that from 2018 she has vastly improved and that now she is worthy of that appointment. So an appointment is something that, maybe not a lot of people think highly of, because we think that all of the candidates should go through that bloodbath of a competition. But when you have an appointment, and if you surpass expectations with that appointment, then it makes it more meaningful, right? So another thing that was highlighted during that send-off was on how Samantha repeatedly said that second chances are there, and that there was really reason as to why she kept on placing second runner-up. That everything that happened in the past that did not seem to make sense, that seemed really heartbreaking, is now doing its job now, and it's now paying for whatever heartbreaks, whatever hurt Samantha felt in the past 2 years, because now everything is in place, and all that Samantha needs to do is accept all these blessings, accept that everything is aligning for her, and with the realization that if things don't go your way in your life, you just have to keep on moving forward, because eventually it will all make sense. And that was pretty much the theme of the send-off. Just mentioning during that send-off, as well as that mini session with Nicole Cordoves, is the maturity of Samantha Bernardo in terms of how she thinks. Now, Miss Grand International is known for their slogan called Stop the War, and I know that this isn't even feasible, because even world leaders, dignitaries, and diplomats, they couldn't really keep the peace. So, how would a beauty queen do a better job? Of course, a beauty queen might not be able to go that far, but it's really nice that Sam was able to make some changes with her statement, but still make it aligned with the organization's motto, because she did mention that stopping the war, or the war itself, has isn't just about an armed conflict, isn't just about violence. She also mentioned about looking for ways to recognize that war means scarcity in medical services, medical supplies, food, education, and another good thing that she was able to bring to the table is that she never forgot her core. Samantha has been a supporter as well as an advocate for malaria awareness, and for her to be able to bring her malaria work to the international stage, as well as her prep work for Miss Grand International, I think that this is really very smart on Samantha's part. Now, if I may share, I even asked Nicole Cordoves if she had a hand in maybe steering Samantha into that direction, and Nicole said no, I had no participation in that. That Nicole is only there to provide guidance for Samantha should she be needed, but she has no hand in thinking of a strategy on how Samantha would present herself, at least on the speech part or the Q&A part. One of the best people to ask about Samantha's prep is, of course, her head stylist, Kenneth Ramil. Now, the first question I asked him was what the atmosphere was like, what their feeling was like at around the time that Binibining couldn't decide on an MGI representation. Like, where were they in terms of being ready? Was it something that they prepared for even before the announcement, or is this something that that they waited for? And he answered that he conditioned himself to be ready whether they send Sam or not. So he said that it's a little difficult to reach out to people, especially when there hasn't been any statement coming from Binibining Pilipinas that there has been no assurance that Sam would actually represent the country. But it also seemed like he was selling goods to some folks who have no idea what they're buying. That was like the atmosphere that he described. And he said that the good thing that came out of not knowing whether Sam was going to make it or not was that there were a lot of really kind-hearted designers who were just willing to help Sam whether she gets the representation or not. So guys, do you just see how everybody is coming together for Sam? placing second runner-up two consecutive times is really paying off. Another interesting question that I asked Kenneth was about Sam's styling direction. Because you see, guys, a lot of information about Miss Grand International is already out there. I even did a video on what MGI is actually looking for. So the códigos are there, the cheat sheets are there, the pegs are, so out there. And Kenneth and the rest of the crew, they seem to have their eyes and ears open. They have been doing their research. They watched my episode, but he said that we really wanted a fashion-forward look for Samantha. We wanted something sexy for her, but still classy. So this was the one that I kept on mentioning earlier, because class is something that shouldn't be taken away from a Filipino representative. So he also mentioned that we will definitely show some skin, but we will make sure that it's tasteful, especially when it comes to the clothes. So the good thing about the styling direction, by the way, is that this is Sam's idea. So she is the captain of her ship, just like what Kat said. But Kenneth and his styling partner, they're there to make sure that everything is polished, to make sure that they get to execute Samantha's vision and make it more acceptable, at least for the pageant-loving fans. So they polished the looks and made sure that it's blingy enough for the pageant-loving fans. But they are assuring us that it will be tasteful. So this is good about, whatever it is that they're cooking for Samantha. Another thing that I asked is how difficult or how easy was it to put together her wardrobe, given that they only have a shorter period of time to prepare. And he said that it was really difficult given the short time, but it really affects budget, it affects availability of materials, and with just 20 days, they were really put into high pressure. But yeah, everybody seemed to come together. Everyone seemed to have like this grand idea in their heads. Now, it was the time for them to just, come together and make sure that everything works for her. So I also asked Kenneth, from a stylist point of view, which looks or pieces should we wait for? And this was what he had to say. The finals gown is something that we have to wait for, because as early as now, he said that it's going to be iconic. Now, I'm not so sure of the color. A lot of people are guessing gold so that, they could just invite the positive energy because of that gold crown. But I've also heard that some people would love for her to wear something emerald because of the emerald stones on that gold crown. But I don't know. They might even go entirely different direction, but it's definitely going to be the finals gown, which will be made by Yeye Pantaleon. And then for his second look, he says that we should wait for the prelims gown because it's going to be different. It's going to look a little bit like Wonder Woman. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's gonna look drapey or armor-like. So yeah, we'll definitely have to wait. And number 3, he says to watch out for the arrival dress because it's gonna be a statement. And what a statement that was. I mean, as early as now that the ladies have started to arrive, they seem to have the same idea of arriving in Bangkok in a Thai-inspired dress or a dress with Thai touches, and unfortunately, everyone else now pales in comparison because Samantha arrived as the first contestant at Miss Grand International wearing that statement piece. So that statement piece, by the way, let me just share with you, is by Iris Guetta. Now, this is a tribute to the land of smiles of Thailand. This is a modern take of the chut thai, the traditional garment of Thailand. Now, ivory, of course, is a color that symbolizes elegance and purity. It is embellished with clear glass beads and crystals that denotes wisdom, compassion, which are Buddhist virtues. The accent of gold, of course, is to attract good fortune and abundance, something that Samantha absolutely needs. And the lines and colors were made clean and simple to bring out the beauty of her Filipina skin. So to complete the look, she has her hair adorned with a gold ornament that's very typical of what we see with Thai women or Thai costume. That, of course, this was made by Ornate Manila. So if this is the direction that they're going for very, very early on in the competition, then I think we really have a fighting chance at Miss Grand International. But Tita Lavinia, is it all about styling? Absolutely not. But we have to understand, guys, that Samantha is an athlete. She is a rhythmic gymnast. So she has the athleticism of an artistic gymnast. She has that drive, she has that passion. Of course, she has that elegance, she has the skills and the movements of a ballerina, because a rhythmic gymnast is a combination between ballet and artistic gymnastics. Everything is long and lean and elegant. So Samantha, moving into Miss Grand International, can perform the same way as the usual Miss Grand International contestant, with all the twirls, with all the hip swaying from east to west. But Samantha can also exercise restraint and can also bring a different flavor to the competition by making sure that it is not all about big movements, by making sure that this is not all about grand gestures, but restraint and a little bit of that Filipina dignified air. So yeah, wishing Samantha well, and if you want to help her out further, please make sure to like her photo or even share her photo on Facebook. Make sure that your accounts are in public. If you like her photo, and please listen to instructions. You don't have to add a heart emoji or click on the, that heart thing. You just have to like it. Per like, that is 5 points. If you share her photos, that's 10 points. So I'm not so sure where we are. I think we are in the running, but we're not like the highest of the votes. But yeah, if you can help her out with that, please do so. And I will see you very soon, because we will cover Miss Grand International intensively, whether we like Miss Grand International or not. So